You guys and Kansas City will be missing some players. Can you give us an update? Will and Alvis for sure be gone probably for that game?
Yes. So the three guys that are gone international duty are Alvis and Michael Seaton with Jamaica, and then Will Johnson with Canada.
How's that going to kind of impact? Obviously, you guys were able to kind of seamlessly put in George and Jack Dewsbury, but now with Liam out, with the yellow card accumulation, and Alvis, how does that impact?
Well, I think you'd probably know. You'd probably know who's going to be in if you look at the games this year and who's played when those guys have been out. So what I can say is we've done it before. So we've had Alvis out. We've played different guys there. Not much. He's put in a lot of good quality games this year. He's had a really good season. But we have played without him, and same thing with Reggie. We've played without him, so we've done it before.
Is it good to see Alvis back with the Jamaican national team after the Gold Cup?
Yeah. No, it's good for him, his development, his career. It's great that they invited him back in, and we're real happy for him.
Coach, a ton of chances created up in Seattle, obviously. Are you surprised that the offense hasn't quite clicked yet in terms of goals, obviously?
We'll score. We're going to score goals. We were top three last 2 years. We generate chances. We're tops in the league this year in goals, in shots. Everybody asks the question, are you concerned? My experience tells me that when you get chances like we've been getting, when you put your players in positions to score, eventually you score. So I'm confident this starting Wednesday we'll score. We'll do better. We'll score goals.
Do you think of it maybe taking a little bit longer just because you have two guys that have scored in the past coming back from injury? You're adding in Milano. It's not been as consistent until a little bit later in the year.
Well, I don't know, because again, if you look at the chances, we're getting chances. So what I'd be worried about is if we, last game, if you're only putting your players in a few positions, if you're only giving them a few opportunities to score, then you do need to worry. But we're putting the players in positions, and eventually their quality will show, and they'll put the ball in the net and they'll score. Some games it doesn't happen, but I'm confident that it will happen, because again, my experience has shown me that when you get chances, because it's all about the player in that moment. There's nothing more you can do but put them in a position, and you train finishing. Every coach in the league trains finishing every single week. You prepare your team so that you hopefully get a lot of shots, which is what we're doing. You prepare your team to hopefully keep the opponent from getting shots, which is what we're doing. Last game we had 20, they had 6. I think that's the most they've ever given up in MLS there at that field. Might be the fewest they've gotten. I'm not sure on that stat, but bottom line is it was a very good performance. We should have scored goals. Maybe it's the goalkeeper, some of it. Maybe it's the player being a little bit more clinical. But I'm confident that we will get goals.
This is kind of a little bit of a weird month for you in terms of how much you have kind of 2 long breaks. How do you feel about that? Do you like it at this point in the year to get a little bit more time off, or do you wish you would keep playing?
I think it's good because we have from game to game a little more time to recover, sharpen some things up. For me, more training the better. Gives us more prep time, and I think the biggest thing is the recovery. Because we're gonna go into these games hopefully flying. We need points. We know that. We're gonna play to win in all 7. It's like a cup final every game, so we're going to go in flying and throw everything into the game. So I think being fresh will really help with that approach.
Looking at the Seattle game, obviously you guys had the chances, but what was it about the play that sort of helped to create those chances? Can you give us a little more insight into that and what you want to carry forward to the next game here?
Well, I think we've adopted some different approaches throughout the year. We've been very aggressive at home, which has been reflected in our results and goals scored, etc. We've been in a few games on the road a little bit more, I would call patient in our defending. you know, managing our block a little bit lower, a little bit more pragmatic on the road in a few games, and that's worked recently. But we felt in that game it was a good game to go toe to toe, and you know, we felt frankly that they'd have more than they did, but you know, like I always tell my team going into every game, we're going to prepare to have the ball and push the game and be up the field, and we're also going to prepare if that doesn't happen, so we're not surprised or vulnerable either way. But the better we play, the more we're in the front half, and that happened in the game. I thought the game played out really well because we played really well. You know, some games you don't play as well, but we're always going to be prepared either way, because if the game turns on us or if the opponent is extra sharp or we're a little bit off, you know, then we can defend deep at times and then use the counter. So I thought we were up the field more than I expected, but I think that's everything about the performance we had, the confidence we had. So we're not going to be a team that dies in beauty. That does nothing for us. We need to get points. And to get points, you got to score goals. That's the bottom line. You know, so me saying we had a good performance and deserve more doesn't mean that that's going to be good enough in the next 7 games for me to say that. Bottom line is we need points. We need to get in the playoffs. But from a coaching standpoint, I'm always thinking about when we didn't win, why didn't we win, what needs to change, and I don't think a lot needs to change for us to, you know, go into the next game to win.